I'm your host, Jake. We have a good show for you tonight. I have Eliza here. And by the way, happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day.
Thanks, you too.
Eliza is going to help me out here. You know, it's Valentine's Day. We always, you know, if you're single, it's like, you know, what am I going to do? Or, you know, you think about how single you are. If you're in a relationship, you're like, you know, am I going to mess this up? Will I have a next year? You know, will I have a Valentine for next year if I do this wrong?
So much pressure.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about the do's and don'ts. You actually work at Talkify.
I do, yes, as a matchmaker.
So let's first, before we get into that, I want to know, or I know a little bit about you, but they don't. So let's just a little bit about where you grew up.
Yeah, I kind of grew up all over the States. We moved around a bit, north, south, everywhere. So, yeah.
Did you ever live in Kansas?
No.
Okay.
Never did.
Hold on. All right. So, and that is good because you probably have a well balance of, you know, experience.
Yeah, I mean, kind of a lot of different perspectives widened my worldview.
Yeah.
So I'm really grateful for it.
And where were you before Austin? Because you're kind of new here.
Yeah, I've only been here about like 8 months now.
What do you think?
I was in Atlanta before. I love it.
It's pretty cool,
I
huh?
seriously love
8
it.
months. So yeah, you had some of the summer, so you know it's hot.
Yeah, I could do with a little less heat,
Yes,
but I
yes.
can't believe how much I love it here.
Yeah.
It's an awesome place.
You do all the hikes and you do that. Do you take advantage of that, or are you too busy working?
I'm not super outdoorsy.
Okay.
No.
Oh. No. All right, all right. So let's talk a little bit about Talkify because I didn't know, you know, until I had you come on the show, and we spoke last week. Tell us a little bit about Talkify.
Yeah, so Talkify is a matchmaking service. It's not a dating app or even a dating website. It's we pair actual people with another actual person, and there's no algorithms or anything. It's an actual matchmaker behind the scenes working with each
human-based.
client. Yes, a real human being, exactly. Yeah.
No.
No. Yeah.
That's good. And so, I mean, what's the process of, like, if I was a client?
Yeah, absolutely. So
Eliza, I'm single. What am I going to do? I live in Austin. I want to go hiking. I want to go paddle boarding. I need a girl. What's up?
Yeah, so if I was your matchmaker, we would have a meeting, probably a virtual meeting, because we're a nationwide company.
Oh, yeah. So
our matchmakers live all over, and we match the matchmaker and the client based on, you know, potential compatibility as opposed to location necessarily. So yeah, I would have a welcome meeting with you and kind of ask you what you're looking for and ask you about your dating history, find out what you want.
Pretty much what we did before the show.
Yes, exactly.
Last week, yeah.
And then they would look through the database, try and find the right match for you, set you up on a date. And it's blind dating as well. You would not see pictures of each other.
Really?
Yes.
So if you said you got, like, I got the girl for you, Jake. You wouldn't show me a picture?
No, sir.
Whoa.
Yeah. But you could send in pictures of like your exes or what have you, so that we would know your type. You know.
No, to you, but I mean, I'm not going to see this girl's exes.
Okay, no, you bring up a very good point. This process does require some trust. Like, you have to give up a bit of control, which can be very challenging for any of us.
So I would give you pictures
really
of ex-girlfriends.
Yeah, or people that you know that you think are attractive or whatever. Real people.
So I could send you, I could say, go look at J-Lo's website.
No, not
real
people.
Gotcha.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. All right. So that's not bad. So it's like basically you make a friend and we start talking, like we've been doing.
Exactly. Yes.
So you know me pretty well. You could probably find. I'm not. Please don't. Analyze me.
I'm
but
ready.
Yeah, you can find.
Have.
Yeah. You know me, and you know my type. All right. So the matchmaking thing is good. So you came from Atlanta.
Mm-hmm, I did.
What is there a difference between the dating scene in Atlanta versus Austin? Because I picture Atlanta more cold and probably do more indoor bar-y stuff, you know, and we're more outdoor trails, water, less than Atlanta, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Atlanta is pretty outdoorsy for a big city, but not as much as Austin. You're right. Austin is like, it's very outdoorsy. Also, the scene in Austin's a little bit younger, I think. And we talked about this a little bit before. All the ladies say that all the guys here have like Peter Pan syndrome, because you've got these young tech guys that you know move here for a job or stay here out of college for their job. But every city has its challenges.
But
so.
man, we got so many here. Google, I mean, Facebook got so many.
Yeah.
God. Yeah, it's getting out of control.
Yeah.
Has the pandemic, what has that done to dating, if anything?
Yeah. No, that's a great question, because you would think, oh, if people aren't meeting up as often,
if you
then
can't go out.
dating's dead. It's
Yeah.
a thing of the past, but that's actually not true at all. It's been awesome
Yeah.
for dating and for my company as well, because people have really been able to think about, okay, what's important to me? And now that I'm
yeah.
stuck at home sitting
All
here,
the fluff. Yeah, you just.
I realize that I'm lonely because I'm
Yeah.
not able to fill that in with
Yeah.
hobbies or
Right.
work or whatever. And so people have really been thinking about what they wanted. So oddly enough, business has been booming.
That's
Even
awesome.
when they were only doing virtual dates, people still wanted to do
yeah.
that. So yeah, I think it's been a good thing for people, just reevaluating
Yeah.
their lives and prioritizing what's important to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that when COVID hit, 2020 was probably one of my most active years.
Really?
I did, because you couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
So I did hiking. I mean, I was on the water like 3 or 4 times a week.
Nice.
I went my physical activity like just went through the roof. I'd
Yeah.
done more in 1 year in traveling
Yeah.
than I had done for, past 5 or 10 years combined.
Wow,
So
that's great.
It was good.
Yeah.
What are some of the misconceptions about matchmaking? Because, people probably think
Yeah.
it's an app and they
Yeah.
probably think they get more control.
Yeah, they think they can just say, I want this, this,
Yeah.
this.
Show me your pictures. I'll pick one out.
Yeah, exactly. Matchmakers are not magicians.
Yeah.
We are basically working with real people.
Yeah.
So, we can't custom make this person for you to your specifications.
Yeah. Do they, wow. We're going to get more into that, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I
Yeah,
could
and it's
do
not
that.
a dating app, like you said. That's a big misconception, is that it's a dating app, and it's not, and there's no algorithms,
Yeah.
and it's all real people.
You are the algorithm.
Yeah,
You people are.
I am a robot.
So you are good at your job. Let's talk about.
Would you trust me more if I was? I am an algorithm, and I will say
I've known you for a week now, and I would.
No, but I mean
Oh.
as a client. If you didn't know me and you came into, because I feel like people do that, right? We trust algorithms with so much.
Well, we unknowingly.
Yeah.
Once I looked up, Talkify last week, it's been all over my feed.
Yep.
So I mean,
Yeah.
no, it's all good. Let's talk about, it's Valentine's Day. What are probably some of the best, and this doesn't have to be, job related, but just,
Yeah.
your experience as a woman. What are the best dating tips that you would even give, your clients or me or whoever?
Oh goodness. As
Yeah.
a woman or in
Yeah.
general?
Either, yeah.
Okay.
I'll
Best,
take your as a woman approach first because I'm a dude and I
my
might not know.
oh my God. Let me go general first.
Yes,
If
okay,
that's okay.
yeah.
And then narrow
The
it
general
down.
rules.
And this is gonna sound silly,
Yeah.
but I would say be a good person.
Yeah.
Be a nice person. Be respectful and thoughtful and considerate.
Yeah.
I know that's not what you initially think of
Yeah.
when you think of, oh, I got to be good at dating. I got to play the game.
Yeah.
And it's actually not about that at all.
Yeah.
You want to be someone that you would want to be with. And when you really think about it day in, day out with someone, you want to be with a good
Yeah.
person, an honest person, a loving person. So you want to be those things yourself and kind of let the other person see that and be
Yeah.
vulnerable and honest, as opposed to like playing this game and
Yeah.
trying to be cool or present yourself in the best way, when really, if you just worked on yourself and
Yeah.
showed those best qualities.
And isn't that when you have the most fun? Like,
Yeah.
if you're on a date and you're not
Yeah.
yourself, like, it's just, it's not fun. But if you can be
That's
silly, goofy, that's
Yeah.
when it's good.
That's true.
Oh man, what was I going to ask you? We were talking about the dating. Sometimes you can be too nice. Sometimes you can be, I don't know. I just always wonder,
Like as a guy specifically,
Yeah,
do you feel like
yeah.
that? Okay.
because there's the jerk and they get the I don't know, the stereotype stuff.
Okay. So you feel like nice guys don't
Yeah,
win.
get the bad rap.
Okay. And is that, you feel like that personally?
Man, I feel like I am on a couch.
Where is this coming
I
from?
am on a couch. You're like, and you feel that way personally?
Where did that first begin for you?
Eliza, I'm just talking general here. I'm not talking
just
about
in general,
me.
You hear nice guys.
I hear that nice guys kind of get beat up a little bit in the
Okay.
dating scene.
Yeah, I mean, I think many of us, when it comes to dating, are maybe not making the best choices. Not valuing the things
Is it
that
because
really
they're more
matter.
exciting if they're not a nice guy? Like the nice guy's like, oh, I'll put him on the burner, he'll be there. But I'm gonna go have fun with this guy and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I can't relate to that a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that people do experience that on both ends.
Yeah.
I think that sometimes the problem with nice guys is that they're not very assertive. And so a nice guy might say, oh, well, no one wants to date me. And I'm like, well, have you asked?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like, and it's not about being a jerk.
Yeah.
I think nice guys
Just
are
being
great.
assertive.
I think,
Yeah.
and like I said, that's my number one dating tip
Yeah.
is like, be a nice person.
Yeah.
So I don't really think it's true
Yeah.
that nice guys are going to have a harder
Yeah.
time. But I do think you have to be assertive.
Yeah.
And here's the reason why I think that men kind of like jerks a little bit, is that we know if we get something at a restaurant or whatever and we don't like it, the jerk is going to send it back for us. The nice guy is going to be wanting to make sure that everyone's happy. The jerk, we know he's willing to upset people on our behalf.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it's about. It's
Yeah.
about being assertive and taking care of the other person, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's where that comes from.
Send stuff back if it's not good. I also feel like you have to be, because I took, we know that you know my personal story, but I took like a year off, and then I was ready to date last year, and then it just didn't happen because I wasn't active.
Yeah.
You really have to actively pursue it. But I think, and I took that year off, I think you have to, and you probably ask this of your people, if you're not ready to date, it's just not, you know what I mean? Like you have to say, I'm ready to date, I'm ready to be serious. If something comes along, I'm gonna take it serious.
Yeah, I think intentionality.
Because you have to be in your head, I'm
Yeah.
okay to date or I'm not, and don't, come back, 6 months from now and get yourself fixed.
I think intentionality is a huge part of it. Saying this is what I want
date
in
with
my
intention.
life.
Yeah.
And so I have to make different choices than I have been making
Yeah.
if I want a different result. So yeah, there is a bit of that, of being like, no, this is important to me and I'm
Yeah.
going to pursue it. And a lot of people will say, oh, I'm ready for it if it comes to me. And sometimes it does.
Yeah.
Often it doesn't. You
Yeah,
have to
you gotta
actually
actively
make it happen. You got to go out there and try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you help people like not get discouraged? Because I'm sure, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been intentionally single for a long time, but I'm sure there are people, and I have friends that are like, they're trying to date. They just, the apps suck.
That
people
can be
are
the hard thing about
flakes.
trying, right? Is if
Yes,
it's not working,
rejection.
well, then I don't want to try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then if I'm not pursuing it, I'm not getting rejected.
Yeah.
I'm not putting myself out there.
Exactly.
Big
That's
difference.
Very smart. Yeah.
But I mean, how?
I would say have fun. Don't expect, okay, the next person I date is going to be it, and it needs to be it, and this is urgent all of a sudden because I'm trying. No, I mean, there's fun in the process as well.
Yeah.
Keep your expectations kind of, I'm not going to say low, because you should,
No, but
you should have high standards,
Right.
right? But when you have a first date, just
Yeah.
expect to have fun.
Right.
Like you're just going out and getting a drink and getting to know a new person.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be like, oh my God, is this my future spouse?
Right.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pressure.
And take it slow, because that can actually help things develop into long term if you're not putting all this pressure on that initial meeting or even second meeting.
I like to start as friends anyway. Because if it's like someone's hooking you up or whatever, it's like it's a date.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to am I not supposed to talk to anyone? There's just so much. Okay, I went on a date. What am I just only supposed to talk? You just don't know.
Right.
And so okay, but
I mean,
just
I would
like
say
be
it's
friends.
just dating until you have the exclusive conversation.
Do you know? I know you probably don't know stats on that, but what do you think? What do you think is the average? A month of dating, or what would you, if someone was dating you, how long would it take for you to say, you know what, I want you to just see me?
Wow, I think that varies so much.
Because for me, it happens pretty quickly.
I know it does. Yes, it varies so much person to person, and as you know.
Oh, on the guy, like if certain guys might bring that out sooner than others.
No, I'm saying for each person, how soon they would want to become exclusive would
I'm
change.
asking
And
you.
also, yeah, I know, you're putting it back on me.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, fine, I'll play your game. Okay, for me, how fast would I want? Not super fast, like I would be kind of scared if a guy wanted
Right.
to lock it down right away.
Right.
Because that's, I don't know, I think it should be an informed
Yep.
choice, not one based out of fear
Right.
of, oh no, they're talking to other people.
Right. Right.
I would say at least a few dates. It's got to be at least a few dates before
yeah.
we're going to have
Yeah.
that conversation.
Yeah. 'Cause I'm trying-
Ideally, like at least a month. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
think
know.
I
It
think that's when
depends.
or maybe a little bit sooner.
Okay.
I think it depends on how many dates you have in a week, per week.
Yeah.
If you're only
It's
seeing that
not
person on a
just-
Friday, then that's 4 dates. That's a month. But if you're seeing, going on hikes and walks for lunch, you can see someone 3 or 4 times a week, and that's
Still
well,
a week
see,
is
that's
pretty
still
crap.
yeah. So I guess it depends. There's a lot of variables.
Slow it down.
Yeah,
you
there's
gotta
a lot
slow
of
it down.
variables.
What's the rush? Why are you trying to rush it?
I'm not trying to rush it.
Why are you trying to rush it,
Hey,
Jake?
don't make this about me.
You just did it
We're
to
talking
me.
about general. Yeah, that's why I was playing it back. Breaking up. Do you have any
A
advice?
less fun topic.
Yeah. Downer.
Yeah. Way to kill it.
Yeah. Way to kill the mood.
Yeah, I mean, again, going back to being a kind person, an honest person, and part of that, we don't want to have the hard conversation,
Yeah.
but that really is kind of
helpful.
right? Yeah, to be
To say
clear.
why.
Yeah,
Because I always say, why, and then I can either say, F that, I don't care, that's me, and I'm not going to change it, or I can say, yeah, I might be able to change that. Maybe I'm too this or too that, or not enough this or not enough that.
Oh, if someone's breaking up with you and they
Yeah,
say,
I want to know.
Oh, okay.
I would want to know
Yeah.
instead of just ghost.
I mean, I think feedback is good because
Right.
we can take it, and even if it's not right for us to change that, we can know, okay, I understand why that didn't
Yeah,
work
that's
out.
not my person. If she,
Yeah.
like if they don't like Jake, you're way too hyper. Well, that is not going to change.
That's who you are.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is not
that's
going to change.
fine.
But
Yeah.
if it's Jake, whatever, I could probably change.
Didn't pay for dinner, and that's
Yeah.
not gentlemanly.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I could-
well, I hear you.
I
Yeah.
could change those kind of things.
And that's a good thing about Talkify, though, is that you get feedback after every date.
I'm just hearing taco-fi now.
No,
Like
now I'm
food?
hungry. No,
Yeah, I'm hungry.
Talkify, like talking.
Yeah.
But you get feedback, and there's kind of this middle person, so there's not that awkwardness of like,
Oh,
Jake, you dressed like a slob,
Yeah.
so I don't want to see you again. It's
Yeah.
you get to hear that through a filter, so each person can be as honest as
Yeah.
they want, and there's not this awkwardness of like, well, you have my phone number, but I'm just not going to
Yeah.
respond to your text, and you don't know
Right.
why.
Yeah.
So that can be really helpful.
Yeah, because that's no good for anybody.
Yeah.
They can't change or do anything better.
Yeah.
So I always talk about, because I love the 5 love languages.
Yes, me too.
Let's talk about that.
Absolutely. Well, okay, so the 5 love languages are, let's
Mm-hmm.
take turns saying them.
Oh, shit.
Watch
Acts
your
of
rock-
service. You put me on the spot.
Physical
Acts of
touch.
service. Okay. Physical touch. Words of affirmation.
Yep. And quality time.
And
Oh,
gifts.
yes, good job.
Gifts, yeah.
We got them.
Okay.
And what is yours?
I mean, I'm sure it kind of changes a little
Sure.
bit, but I know for sure I'm acts of service.
Okay.
And that's what I was saying. Like, I go really quickly to treating someone like a girlfriend, even if they're not.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Like, I'm like, I want to cook for you. I'll make,
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I knew that you like Twix.
Oh my God.
This is an
that's
act
so
of service. So
sweet
this
of
is something that
you.
is like,
Thank you.
you hear, you pick up on something. If someone likes something,
I can't
I'll
wait to
bring
eat
it along.
this.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, can I have
Yeah,
5 minutes?
yeah.
Okay.
So, it's acts of service. Like, I like to do little things, and they're
Yeah.
little, but they're, I think that's probably more than like, oh, you go get a, hot air balloon ride. Okay. That's not, it's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it doesn't put too much thought. But like if someone like goes out of the way to daily do these little things,
Yeah.
make you coffee in the morning.
Yeah, that's
cook dinner
sustainable
for
over
you.
a lifetime,
Yes, yes, yeah.
as opposed to these grand gestures.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. That's amazing. I don't think that a woman would be weirded out or should be weirded out by, if you bring their favorite
Yeah.
candy bar on a date. But there can be other things that,
Yeah, I kind of do
that
flowers.
would be a
that's-
little too much.
Yeah.
So something like, hey, come over and I'll cook you dinner on a first date,
Yeah.
in my opinion, would be
red flag.
wildly inappropriate.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Maybe if you were
And you
friends
don't want
already,
these people at your house
Yeah.
anyway. Like, let's see if they're cray-cray.
You
and
got to
then-
think about it from the woman's perspective.
Right.
A first date should be in a public setting. where they feel safe.
Yeah.
Ideally, where it's not too loud, so that you can have a nice conversation. But yeah, you don't want to move things too fast.
Yeah.
You want to have both parties feeling safe. And this is something too I wanted to bring up about the exclusive conversation. Each person is going to feel differently, right? Like, you might not be in agreement.
Faster.
So if you're feeling ready and they're not, you know, you kind of got to wait
suck it up.
or realize, okay, maybe this isn't,
Yeah.
we're not on the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So acts of service.
Right, yes.
I know, I'm getting, what is yours?
We could rabbit hole
What's your
on all
top
of
one?
these. Probably physical touch and words of encouragement.
Okay, so, and someone told me that if you're not getting, until like last year, I thought it was what like acts of service is what I do. I didn't even think about what I want from someone.
Yeah, and it's not always the same thing.
That blew my mind because
Yeah.
they're like, no, Jake, what? And I go, I want to acts of service. Like, no, what do you want? I want to do this for her. Like, what do you want
so
her
what
to do
makes
for
you feel loved?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't.
What is it? Is it
They
acts
say
of
it's your
service?
own. They say
Not
it's your
always. Not always.
own. I mean, I like little things. Yeah, I like her
Okay.
to do little thoughtful things.
Yeah.
I like physical touch. Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess we all do, but yeah, I don't know. I like physical touch, and I like the acts of service, doing little sweet
Okay.
things. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a great conversation to have even on a first date.
Oh yeah,
because
and I
if you
always talk about
know-
that because it's always good to know.
If acts of service aren't meaningful to them
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
they
they're gonna
only
be
want
like,
words
"Jake,
of
whoa."
encouragement,
Yeah.
they are like,
Yeah, you're way.
you're not expressing any care to me. You don't even
Yeah.
like me because you
Yeah.
haven't told me I'm pretty. You know.
Yeah, yeah, I wonder if words of affirmation is low on a lot of guys. I wonder who says that. I wonder who's
Sometimes.
that's high with, women or
I'm
guys.
actually kind of surprised by how often I'll see it on a dating profile.
That a guy will say it or that a girl will say it?
That a guy will say it.
Yeah. Because like words mean nothing to me. Like, yeah, you say it back, but I mean, show me.
Okay, I got you.
You know, show me more than I don't care.
I think to a woman though, it's like, oh, you noticed. You not only noticed it, but you then communicated it to me.
Yeah.
That's why it's meaningful.
Yeah. And what's the one we haven't talked about? What's
Quality time. We haven't talked about really.
quality time. That's easy to do on dates. And you know,
As long as you don't have your phone on the table like this, get that out
but
of
that's
here.
because our timer, yeah. Let's see, we were at 8:22. Okay. Yeah, quality time. That's, you know what? That's probably really high on mine.
Okay.
But they all blend.
Yeah, because right. if
Quality
you-
time is touch too.
Yeah, if for me,
Touch is
like if
quality
we're not
time.
snuggling, it isn't quality time.
Exactly.
You
And
know?
that's two right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Huh. So that goes when you're doing the interviews for the.
Yeah, this is an example of a question.
They
we
have to
ask.
know, and you dive into that with them.
Yeah, we dive into lots
Yeah.
of things. Yeah.
And someone recently told me that if you're not getting your love language, or if you're getting your love language, you give less of yours, and vice versa. If someone isn't,
I'm not sure I follow.
I know, and I was like,
I know,
wait, what?
I don't either.
No, because I didn't understand it either, and I hadn't heard it.
Okay, sorry.
But like, so if I'm acts of service, and I'm like, I'll cook you dinner, I'll make you popcorn, I'll
Right.
do this,
Okay.
we'll go walking, I'll do this stuff.
Okay, but they're
If-
not acts of
If
service.
they're not doing all these little
So
things
they're
for me,
like, this
I do
isn't-
more because I feel like there's no love.
Oh,
Like
I see
that's what I
you're
associate
saying.
love is doing things, and if they're not doing anything, then I do more.
Okay. Yeah,
Is
some
the-
people
is the
might.
theory.
Some
I
people
don't-
might respond that way. Some people might pull back and be like, "Well, I'm not going to give you any love then."
Yeah.
But if you just had a conversation and said, "Hey, does this mean anything to you?" No. Okay. Well, what
Do you
does
give a
mean
crap
something to
if-
you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Do you like that steak I made or not? Oh man. Okay. And let's. We were talking slightly, with the past. How important is, because you have to date with intention. Mm-hmm. You said you asked them for pictures of their exes to get an idea.
Yeah, sometimes, or if they're concerned about the physical aspect of the blind dating, then yeah, we would definitely encourage that.
Yeah, to make sure you didn't go way wrong.
Mm-hmm.
What do you also? I'm sure breakups have a huge. How someone breaks up is huge.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know,
And
are
it
these
kind
these
of-
people that go
that
nuts?
baggage that kind
Yeah.
of, well,
And
that was
how
a
they go
Libra. I'm
into
not
another-
dating any more Libras.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, too many people like, that means nothing. Who cares what month or year they were born? Well,
But
the
it's
year
stuff
matters.
like that. Or she
Yeah.
was blonde. I'm not going to date any more blondes. You know?
Blonde now doesn't mean she'll be blonde in 3 months. You guys change that stuff so much. So, I mean, how deep do you dig with that? Or let me ask you this. How important is it, if you're dating a guy, how important is it to know to have him talk about his ex-girlfriend so you know?
Okay, this is a great question. I'm going to go back to these dating rules, and I would say don't talk about exes at all, especially on a first date.
But you do in the group,
Yeah, when a matchmaker's talking to their client, they might ask like, okay,
Yes,
how
I'm not
long-
talking about on a date.
Oh,
Yes,
okay, I'm
yes, no,
sorry.
yes. I
Okay.
meant you as the business.
Yeah.
You want to know someone's breakup style or whatever. I don't
Well,
know
we
what-
might ask, when was your last relationship? How long have you been single? If they want it kind of depends on their comfort level.
Yeah.
If they want to go into that, I would say we don't focus hugely on that. But it does tend to come up because
Yeah.
they might say, well, I want this because the other person was this.
Oh, yeah.
And I kind of want to say, well, don't be reactionary.
Yeah.
Just because you had 1 or 2
Yeah.
experiences with this type of person doesn't mean, I think it's good to learn from our past.
Yeah.
But it's also equally important to keep an open mind as
Yeah.
well.
I mean, obviously, it didn't work.
Yeah.
So
Thank
they're
you.
an ex for a
Yes.
reason.
Thank you.
I mean, you do like some of the stuff about him, but I mean, there's obviously some stuff that you did not like.
For sure. And I think it's important to identify what that was, what you liked, what you didn't like going forward. And kind of inform your search that way.
What do you think is important for, all of us dating to just maybe know about themselves or like get in the mindset of like to get ready for dating?
Yeah. I think if you went through, a rough breakup, a long relationship, take some time for
Yeah.
yourself and kind of heal up and figure out what you want so that you're not going into it from a reactionary place
Yeah.
of, okay, I just need the opposite or whatever.
Yeah.
And really think about what you need and what you want, but then also have this open mind of there's some things I don't know.
Yeah.
And especially if you're using a service like Talkify, a matchmaker, there is that trust and you have to say, okay, this is a professional that maybe has a different perspective.
Yeah.
What I think and want is still very important, but maybe they see something I don't see, and kind of being open to that and open to each person and not expecting this perfection,
Yeah.
but they're a flawed human just like you are,
Yeah.
and it's a process.
Yeah.
And if you can't do that dating, you can't do that in a long-term relationship.
Yeah, I think you really have to be ready to date because I knew, 2 years ago, I was like, I'm not going to date. I knew
Okay.
better. I knew it wouldn't be good, so I
Yeah.
just took a year off. I have a friend who recently had a breakup, and I'm like, just chill, just hang out with friends.
Yeah.
I told her, don't
That
date.
can be hard to do because you're like trying to fix
Well,
that
yeah, because
wound,
you're
that
used to that
loneliness.
affection, and now
Yeah.
you're not getting it.
Yeah.
But
I mean, some people might want to go have like some flings and
that's.
that can be okay, but I would just say maybe don't get into something serious.
But I think
Right
flings are
away.
bad for you.
You do?
I do.
Why do you think that?
I just think they're empty. I think they can cause more damage than.
Okay.
I don't know. That's me. I'm old school. I'm very.
And it depends on the person. If it's not healthy for you,
Yeah.
then it's not healthy for you. And it's
I mean,
really
and
good to know that
I learned to
about yourself.
value my Fridays and Saturday nights at home by myself.
Yeah.
Just,
That's great.
Yeah.
That's such a good place to be.
yeah. Travel a lot by myself too, which is fun
Yeah.
because you don't have to. What do you want to do? You just go do it.
Yeah.
Get in the car when you want to.
Appreciate
Yeah.
being single
Yeah.
and all that space and independence.
But I am now ready to, have something and get serious. 2 years is enough.
Yeah.
I did enough learning about Jake.
Yeah, good for you, because sometimes you get too comfortable there in that space,
Yeah,
right? And you're
yeah.
like, well, if I get into a relationship, I'm going to have to adjust to someone.
They do say
I don't want to.
the longer you're single, the harder it is to impress, to be impressed.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
It's
could see
harder to
that.
date someone.
And also, the older you get, too, I think. You're like, you know
You think
what?
it's harder?
I'm fine by myself, actually.
I don't know. The older I get, I'm thinking I want someone to take me to doctor's appointments and stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's
Like, 'cause,
smart.
I look at my parents and, they have doctor's, they got each other and.
Yeah.
Or if
Yeah,
you're
you want that.
married, you
There's so
have
many
someone.
things you want a
dentist
partner
even.
for.
Any appointment,
Yeah.
I have no,
Absolutely.
I don't have anyone who's going to drive me.
Well, I can help you out.
I know, but I'm just.
Let's let the show wrap, and I'll help you.
Yeah. It's like that's what I'm thinking. It's like I want their love and everything else too. But I also think long term, like I want to come home and have that person there.
Yeah.
Saturday morning, I know I have someone to go hiking with. I don't have to like call 5 friends. Hey, who wants to go hiking?
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I
You need a built-in hiking partner.
Yes, because I
Okay.
told you, people are like, oh, Jake, you go hiking. I want to go hiking all the time. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, but then you're not going to be
there. And then
there
you
at
call
5
them
in
and
the
say,
morning
hey,
or
I'm going
whatever.
to, be at the HEB on the corner, blah, 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 6 in the morning. Oh,
Yeah.
can we do it at 9? No. This is not I'm going at.
But see, I can't guarantee that I can find you a woman that wants to wake up early for a hike. So you might
Yeah.
have to adjust yourself.
Yeah.
Whether it's for
And see, now
friends
that's something
or
I
your
can work on.
partner,
That's something I
you
can work
gotta
on.
adjust.
Because I can go do a pre-hike before the hike.
Okay. Yeah.
And just,
that would work.
get it, get it out of my system. I talked about that. Because this is something that I joke about a lot. If you're in a relationship, because some people disappear
Oh yeah.
with your friends. So how
You just go into this love bubble
yes.
and disappear from
So
the rest
how
of
do
the
you
world.
deal with the
Yeah.
friends? How much should you back off from your friends? Because when you're dating, you're gonna see your friends less.
Yeah, I mean, that's inevitable because you're spending so much time with this other person. But I would say do that as little as possible as far as alienating other people. It's so easy, right, to be like, well, this is the honeymoon phase. I just want to enjoy every second and milk it for all
But
it's
then you
worth.
drop your friends and they get
And then
pissed.
all of a sudden you realize you need them
Right.
because you're not in the honeymoon phase
Yeah,
anymore, and
yeah.
they're like, no, you dropped me.
Yeah, yeah.
And I would say
It's a tricky
actually,
balance.
It brings so much to your relationship if you actually do go off and do those things by yourself and have those other friends.
and get
because,
feedback.
Yeah, you have needs that your friends meet that your partner might not, and that's okay. That's healthy
Yeah.
and normal. And I think expecting everything from this one person is not healthy and
No,
and
I
too
expect
much pressure.
Talkify to give me everything in a woman.
No,
I'm just kidding.
please.
I'm just kidding.
No,
Just
keep
kidding.
your friends.
Yeah,
and
no, I know. So hold on, man. I hate that I can't see the time. 8:30. Okay, we gotta slow it down. Let's talk about some of the dating terms.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
What ones have you heard?
Well, like ghosting, like zombies was one that I just recently learned. Do you know the zombie one?
Yeah.
So like they ghost you and then they come back.
They
Hey,
come back from
because they
the
maybe they had a
dead.
girlfriend or
Yes.
a boyfriend, and then they're like, I'm single again. Hey.
Okay, so ghosting is when you
They
just
just-
poof, you stop
Yeah,
talking to the
yeah.
person and you don't explain why or
Yeah.
break up or whatever. You've turned into a ghost.
Yeah.
Zombie is you ghost and then you come back.
Yeah. And I heard there's a Casper, which is like the friendly ghost. So it's like, hey, no, I know. They're like, so a ghost is like, mid conversation or maybe you had, and then just boom, they never say. But a Casper is when you say, look, it's not working out, or I don't like this or that or whatever, and then.
Well,
they're
that
like,
sounds like communication, though. That sounds like a
yeah,
breakup.
that's the right way to do it, probably.
Okay.
Well,
But that's still,
it's called Casper. Yeah.
so the breakup isn't clear enough?
Maybe that's
Is that
it.
what they're saying?
Yeah, maybe you're not necessarily dating. It's more, or you're not in a relationship. It's probably more dating. Like
Okay.
you had a good time, and they're like,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe we'll do something. They're not. They let you down easy, and then
Okay,
they
a
just
bit
boom,
too
never.
vague.
They say we'll talk
Okay.
next week, or yeah, we'll do something, and then
Okay.
boom. But at least they kind of say, you know what's coming. I guess I don't know.
Okay, I hadn't heard
Maybe-
that one
yeah,
before.
that was new
There's
to me.
so many terms. Even a matchmaker can't keep up with
Oh,
all
yeah.
the terminology
Yeah.
there is.
And Austin, we probably have our own. They say, hey, is Austin like the worst place to date or the best? Or
Everyone thinks that about their
I know
city,
their
though.
city. Yeah.
Every city has its own challenges, right?
Yeah, I could see the young thing being a factor for why people get frustrated.
Yeah. There's a lot of young people and guys that don't want to
Yeah.
settle down. And, yeah. But guys are like that everywhere as well. But
Yeah.
that's what they say is
Well, we
that
just
it's
have
a
more
little
of
more.
them.
It's a little more concentrated here, but each place has its thing.
Yeah, man.
So
benching?
okay, benching. Benching is where you kind of keep someone on the side,
yeah.
don't commit,
Yeah,
but
use
also
them a little
don't
bit for this or that.
but don't totally
yeah,
cut them off either.
yeah.
So that's almost worse than ghosting, I think. It's confusing.
Unless it's a mutually beneficial.
Okay, sure. Yeah,
if this is your movie buddy
if
and
you
that's
both
your
agree
hiking
to that,
buddy,
sure.
but you don't, you're not romantic with any of them, and you just, well, yeah.
I mean, that's all our friends, right?
Yeah, so maybe there is romance. I don't know. I'm all, and this is all new to me.
I think communicate, right? As long
Yeah.
as you communicate and you're both in agreement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no one feels tricked or hurt or lied
exactly.
to.
Exactly.
You said, yeah.
And I think
Don't wanna mislead.
that's the connotation here is benching is like, no, I've chosen to put you on the bench.
So
you don't
that makes it hurtful.
necessarily
not a
want to be
choice.
there.
Yeah,
you want to be
yeah.
in the game, but nah.
Put me in, coach.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're sidelined. Catfishing, of course.
Yeah, that's the fake profile pretending you're
God,
someone
that
you're
happens
not.
a lot. Even
Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, I'm so
I'll
sorry.
have to tell you the story off. This was like right after I got divorced, so it was like I didn't know anything. I just
Tell me the
started dating
juicy
again.
details off air.
Well, I will say this. Make sure you get a full body shot of someone. I'll just say that. No just faces.
Why
Because
is that?
you don't know what's under here.
Okay.
You see this, okay, it's
But
And
they
then
didn't lie
Oh,
about who they
yeah.
are.
or
Oh, they did?
they say they don't smoke, and then you walk in and they're smoking and they're
Oh.
built
See,
totally different than you think.
That's just
But
Have
and
you ever
do-
understood the urge to lie, like maybe about your age or something like that?
Yeah,
Have you
but
ever?
with size, you're going to see it as soon as you walk into the room. Why would you lie about or
I
hair?
mean, any kind of
if you wear a
lying is like
hat
that.
and you're bald, why would you lie about that? Because, suddenly I take it off and I'm bald, and you're just going to forget that if you don't like bald guys or whatever, like,
Yeah.
or if you like a certain type,
Yeah.
like why?
I think we all have a tendency to want to hide our insecurities. And there is a certain thing about like, okay, you don't have to come right out with
Right.
all your dirty laundry.
Yeah.
But we should be honest about who we are, right? Because we don't want to trick someone
Right.
into liking
Right.
us, and it's not going to work.
Right.
Like you
Right.
said, you're
Right.
going to find out pretty quickly who that person is
Yeah.
and what they look like and
Yeah.
all these things. So be honest so
Yeah.
that you're not wasting someone's time and your own time. Why would you want to waste your own
yes,
time and get
yes,
rejected
yes.
to your face? You know,
Yes.
just be honest and
Yeah. I will tell you the highlight of. I'll tell you the whole story, but the highlight of that, the date, the catfish. She's like, hey, I'm gonna, or I think she went to. She's like, I gotta go to the bathroom. She went to the bathroom. She came back, and she was literally. She goes, oh, you're still here. Like the look on my face when
she thought you were.
She
gonna
thought I was gonna bolt. She was surprised, but I was nice. I didn't know what to do. I was like, I didn't want to be a jerk. I
Yeah.
waited it out. I'm like, well, we got drinks. We'll just finish
Well,
them,
that's
whatever.
good.
But
Yeah.
so that tells me that it's happened before.
Wow. So you think she did this on purpose?
Well, I mean, if guys leave right away, she has to like at least.
Oh man.
Give it a
Imagine how
chance.
rough that is.
Yeah, it was brutal. That was the reason. See, I felt bad.
But see,
I
now here's
I
the
saw
thing.
the date through, like because I didn't want to hurt her. Like I could tell. Yeah.
I love to razz you guys for this because it's like a man's worst fear is that a woman is going to be heavier than her pictures, and a woman's worst fear is that she's going to get murdered. So
That's what you guys are worried about?
yes, fully.
Serious?
And before any date, I
Wow.
tell other people this is the person I'm going out with. This
Yeah.
is where I'm going.
Yeah.
If you don't hear from me by this time, like we women really have to be careful. So I don't feel a ton of sympathy for you.
Chubby girl dying. I don't know. Yeah. Huh.
Do you think it's possible to fall in love with someone that you wouldn't have thought?
Absolutely. Yeah. Because I think people feel different needs in you that's not all visual.
Yeah.
So, because I know I've, no, I can't. Too many people know me. I can't say what I was going to say.
So
but anyway,
maybe that's their hope is, no, you'll get to know me and
Yeah.
then,
yeah.
but you can't start a relationship off with a lie. They might get to know
Yeah.
you and like you, and they might not even be upset about
Yeah.
the truth. They would be upset about being lied to.
Yeah.
So I think that's the real issue.
Yeah.
Okay, benching, what else?
Yeah.
We spent a while on that one.
Oh, cricketing.
Okay.
I can't stand crickets.
Really?
Oh my God, that is my pet peeve.
Okay, so this is the one where someone takes a long time to
Oh,
reply.
I have this friend. She lives in Cedar Park, and we're not dating. She's just a friend, but She drives me insane.
You are calling her out on television right now.
I've called her out plenty of times. But, and then I will do it to her to like let her know how it feels. And then she's like, you do it to me all the time. I go, oh,
Does
whoa,
she
whoa,
care?
whoa. Well, she notices it. I go, but I'm trying to, and so she thinks you do it just as much. I go, no, hey, no. God, I almost said her name. No, I don't. You do it all. Like, I just want to, it would have a 5-minute conversation. It'll take 2 days.
Okay, I have a confession to make. I am completely guilty of this one.
Why though?
I cricket so hard.
Why can't you just say, hey, I'm busy?
Because that takes time. And also, I don't like this kind of expectation of, oh, you're accessible 24/7. If I text you, I'm owed an immediate response. No, you're not. You don't know my life.
So do you think that's if you're not dating? Or if you're dating someone,
If I was an exclusive
So
dating
you think it's because she's my friend?
I'd try to
that
respond pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Or let them know. But at the same time, you don't want to be like that needy person that freaks out if you don't
Yeah.
get an instant response. I mean, maybe you do. I don't know.
No, but this one, it's like, and then she's like, how come we never do anything anymore? I'm like, well, one, you live in Cedar Park.
Well, why don't you just call
2,
her then? If you just want to have a quick conversation.
She don't answer the phone.
I sound like this person.
Yeah.
I am this person.
Yeah. So I'm like, but I mean, I hang out with her, and we always have a good time. You know.
Yeah. Is she kind of
it was one of
introverted?
the first girls that I met when I became single. When I
Okay.
got the divorce. So I've known her for like 8, 9, a long time.
Yeah.
And so we're like an old married couple, and we have a good time together. But she drives me nuts.
I think us crickets, like our alone time is so precious to us. And if we're not together or talking on the phone, you're not entitled to an immediate response.
But if I've engaged you. Hey, Eliza,
Nope.
what do you
It doesn't count for anything.
finish the conversation?
I will actually delay my initial response because people expect, oh, if you respond right away, we're going to have a conversation. No, what am I agreeing
That's
to
fine.
here?
But at one
Like-
point, you have that conversation. You don't keep doing it. Like, finish the conversation. But then she messaged me. She's like, hey, I got some friends coming into town.
What if you just got to the point, though? What if the first message was everything you wanted to say, and then she could say yes or no, or here's when I'm available?
That would be fine.
So do you do that?
No, because I'm just trying to start a conversation.
Yeah, I'm not going to respond to hey. What is hey? Tell me what you want.
No, I don't say that. No, I don't say that. But she messaged me like, hey, I got some friends coming in from out of town. You know all these places. What do I, And I was like, man, I should really just cricket her. But I'm like,
Evil.
this, you need to go
Evil.
to Gloria's and all these places. I gave it to her.
That's nice
But
of you.
anyway, that's not.
What's
I feel
an
like I'm on the
example-
couch now.
What's an example of something that you've said to her that she cricketed? Because I want to understand what's going on here.
Well, I'm not going to get out my phone because we're in an interview. That would be rude. But just anything like, what are you doing this weekend or what?
Maybe she doesn't know what she's doing this weekend yet.
Okay, that's a bad example.
Maybe it's none of your business what she's doing this
No,
weekend.
it's not that. I can't think of a good example. It doesn't matter. It's anything.
I just relate to this too
Yeah,
much. I
yeah.
can't be objective about it.
Okay,
I'm
well,
sorry.
I'm done with that line of question. No further questions, Your Honor. The Utes are, okay. Oh, yeah, we talked about the friends thing. Age difference. Do you
okay.
address that in the, and by the way, I don't know if our thing is, if we could put up Talkify.com.
Oh, yeah, Talkify.com.
Oh, and if someone wants to ask you questions that I'm not asking, what's your email?
Sure. Yeah, so my email address is eliza.miller@talkify.com.
And spell that in case people think it's an A.
Oh, yes.
Your-
Eliza, ELIZA. Miller,
Oh, there you go.
MILLER at Talkify. Talkify is with a W, TAWKIFY.com. So yeah, you can email me if you want, if you have any questions, or go to www.talkify.com to
Perfect.
find out more information.
So age difference.
Yeah,
I don't know your age. You probably don't want to
you're
say.
not going to either.
Okay. Oh, that's fine.
You're not supposed to ask
No, I
ladies
know. I
that.
didn't ask you. I said I don't know, and I'm not
Okay.
gonna. I didn't know if you were gonna share it because I'm not gonna say how old I am. But whatever age you are, what do you like? 5, 10 years older? A little. Like, what's your range?
So you're like me, you really want to like get personal with these questions, and I want to talk about matchmaking in general, so that the people at home kind of know what to expect, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we definitely ask what is your age preference and is it a deal breaker to go outside of that. And people definitely, this is a very contentious issue that can really limit people when it comes to dating.
Yeah.
So often we'll find that men want to date younger and women want to date their own age, not go younger. And I really wish that both genders were just more open-minded.
Yeah. And I asked you because I was going to apply that to. I think whatever you were going to say is probably very common. And I think what I would say, if you asked me, I would say I like 10 within 10 years younger.
Okay.
And so that's probably most of your clients.
So why don't you date your own age or older?
I think energy level would be the issue. And like I said, I don't know that, and you're right. I should expand, whatever.
Yeah, why would you think that someone else, you couldn't find
Just
someone that
because
was your own
I've
age?
always dated,
Okay.
10, and they are on my level.
Okay. So I think we're kind of conditioned, maybe because of apps or what have you, to
To see numbers and.
see numbers and to think about the law of averages,
Yeah,
right? If
yeah.
you're swiping on apps and you're like, maybe I am a little more active than
Yeah.
is usual for my age
Yeah.
range. That means I have to date 10 years
Yeah.
younger. But this isn't an app. You have
Yeah.
a matchmaker actually looking for you. They're not going to show you anyone who isn't
Right.
similar in energy level and lifestyle to you. So you don't have to worry about the law of averages when it comes to matchmaking, because we're actually looking for you and we're going to
Yeah.
match you up with someone compatible.
I also, though, if we were talking about apps, the picture is the most important to me. If the pictures are not, because I'm a photographer, so like if they're just like, I can tell if it's old and crappy, like, psh, psh, psh.
Okay.
I'm not even going to read, I'm not even going to read her, whatever.
But what if the love of your life just isn't good at taking pictures?
Then she needs me. I'll take good
But
pictures.
she's never going to meet you if you're judging her
I
off
know.
some pictures. So this
Get
is a good
good
thing.
pictures. You
This is a
have
good
to-
thing about
Oh.
blind dating.
Okay, so you don't do profiles, right? But for people that, in the
Yeah, we
dating.
just tell them a bit of information. We don't even share, their last name or phone number before the date. Nothing like that. Just, okay, this person matches your preferences, and here's maybe a couple little tidbits.
By the way, so on that, on the Talkify, when you set up the date, if you don't exchange, they don't like you say, you ask Jake, where do you want to meet this girl? Then you tell her, and we just meet. We don't talk previous.
No, we say, meet at the host stand at this
Really?
restaurant at this time. They're wearing this, she's wearing
Whoa.
that. So you can find each
That
other.
sounds kind of fun.
It is really fun. It's super exciting.
very scary.
And it takes all this stress off.
No, I would stress not
So-
knowing who she
Okay,
is or
so
what she looks
fear
like.
and excitement are the same emotion.
Well, sure.
Just it's about
The negative or the.
negative or positive. So trusting
Wow.
can be scary, but it can also be incredibly exciting and freeing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, I thought there was more involvement. You say you meet them there,
Yeah.
and they have to agree on where the dinner or hike or wherever.
Yeah, the matchmaker would ask you, what kind of first dates do you like
Yeah.
to do? And then make sure the person they're going to match you with is comfortable as well. And
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's where you would eliminate people if they weren't, like if I said, I want to go paddleboarding or I want to go hiking.
Probably much earlier than that.
Yeah.
We would eliminate that. I mean, since that's something that's so important to you and you want your partner to share that,
Yeah.
we would definitely be looking for someone that was very outdoorsy.
And that's important on the apps too, more than the age or even the words. If I see a lot of outdoor pictures of someone,
Oh, I see.
I don't care about the age. Like I know that they're
Okay.
active. I don't need to
Yeah.
know that they're 30. If I see them doing all
That's
these
a really
outdoor
good
things,
point.
yeah.
And that's kind of the problem with this bar you slide of like this age to this age.
Yeah, because they don't account for,
Yeah.
there's not activity level
Yeah.
as a bar. Yeah. Sit on the couch or go out and do something.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
I don't want someone that's going to sit on the couch all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you met people that you would date that are kind of outside of your usual age preference or things like that? Yeah.
And that's fun. Yeah. But you know how you can
That's
always.
why you got to be open-minded, and that's happened for me too. I've dated people that I never would have matched
Yeah.
with on an app because they were below my age, and then turns out they're more mature than guys older than me.
Yeah.
That's why you have to keep an open mind and trust your matchmaker or your family and friends or whoever's setting you up.
By the way, so how many? Well, no, it's too businessy. I would love to. Man, I would love to talk to you. We'll talk more. I'm really curious about this Talkify thing.
Well, ask what you're curious about.
Well, I want to. Do you pick 3 people and present them?
No, we
See,
pick
that's what-
and then
that
say
is-
this is it.
That is what's
You
so
have to
crazy to
trust.
me.
Yeah.
But you have to have, with you and your people there, you go like, guys, what do you think? These 3 girls for Jake. And then you eliminate 2, but you got to keep those 2 on the burner in case this one doesn't work, right? Like this will be my go-to after. You gotta have backup.
You're so analytical about this. But yeah, the matchmaker always has a video interview with the potential date as well. So there's that personal aspect. They actually talk to the person. It's not just their profile, their pictures.
Yeah.
So they really get the vibe as well. So I feel like it's often pretty clear and pretty easy to eliminate a person or say, wow, no, their energy feels really similar. I want to match them up.
Man.
And that's not something that they can necessarily explain to the client, right?
Yeah.
So that's why you have to trust the matchmaker. No, she's the one that has met both of us.
Right.
So she's the one that has to make the decision.
Right, because they haven't,
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. So the age difference, okay, yeah, we talked about that. And this is all, they tell you the age range. And you might go out of that age range?
Well, if it's
Or
a
do you
deal
try to
breaker,
be-
if
okay,
it's a deal breaker for them, we're not going to go outside of the age range. But we certainly, that's one of the areas where we try to encourage
I don't want someone
people.
close to retirement.
Yeah, we try to encourage people to be more open-minded and say, hey, I hear what's really important to you is that you want someone that's full of energy and active. What if I find that incredible person that is your age? Yes. I mean, do you really not want to meet them because they're 1 year older? What is really important to you, the number and, this arbitrary thing or the activity level? And kind of really getting to what's important and not these superfluous checklist things that we've just come up with.
And that's why I always, like the photos are so important on a dating profile because that tells me, one, what they look like, two, what they do. If every car is her, and by the way, no, stop with the car. How many photos can you take inside the car? And by the way,
it's better than just a picture of a car, which is what guys do.
Okay, or a fish. Granted, fair enough. But some people, it's like every picture's the same pose, same up, shooting down, and all, and if you like swipe it, it's just like blue, red. It just the shirt changes or the dress, But
we figured out the angle that works.
I guess.
Okay? But no, pictures are.
Yeah. So I can tell what they look like. I like to see, everything.
Yeah. But I mean, you don't have a lot else to go off of, right? It's just the profile.
And then I'll read the details of what they say.
Yeah.
I like to travel. I like to do this.
So if you are going to use the apps, yes, definitely try and make your pictures as good as they can be and as reflective of your life and honest.
It's 2022.
As you
There's no reason to have a bad photo. If I see a bad photo, that's catfish. That's something that they grabbed off the net, it's low quality.
Or just someone who's not a photographer.
No one has a flip phone anymore.
They're too busy paddleboarding.
Yeah. Right, that's it.
I promise you, your dream woman is just out there paddleboarding, taking quick selfies that are terrible.
Yeah. What are some of the typical, obviously you go off their feedback, but what are some of the date ideas that you set these people up on?
Oh, like, so what's a good
typical,
first
like,
date?
and with job or even just at you as, knowing, in the dating world, what would be fun for first dates? Because to me, I like to keep it super simple, low expectation.
Okay.
I'm not going to go buy steak and, potato. I'm not going to invest that kind of time and money.
Okay.
I want to do something like coffee shop, walk.
Okay.
Because you can know everything.
It is nice to kind of keep it low stakes, more for emotional reasons, I would say, to kind of like, hey, we're just going to have fun.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of pressure here. And I would say a public place so that you both feel safe, but also kind of quiet so that you can have a conversation.
Not in an old abandoned building. That's bad.
No.
Okay, yeah.
And I would also say that's a little bit of a problem with some of the hiking options as well.
If it's trafficked.
Sure, if it's high traffic, that's fine, but it can be a little harder to find each other sometimes as well.
Yes, yes, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, but I also love too if there's a little bit of an activity option, especially if you're not doing something like a walk.
Yeah.
So there are specific places in Austin that, can I say them? Okay. So something I like is I would say go to ABBA for drinks and then, it's on South Congress, and then walk over to Summer House. Is it Summer House?
Summer Moon?
No, Summer House on Music Lane. It's like it's almost
what
behind
is it?
ABBA. It's a restaurant.
Oh, okay.
But it's a little bit quieter.
And ABBA's
than
the beer,
ABBA.
so you get a drink, loosen up. Feel good,
ABBA is
then
the
go
drink, which you should only have like one or two drinks. You don't want to get too loose.
Yes.
Okay, you've been there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I rarely drink anymore. I went to a Super Bowl party last night, and I had like one Jello shot. I drink energy drink. I just water and energy drink. Yeah, I don't drink much.
Another option that I really like is bowl and bowl.
Bowl.
So bowl is like the
Eat, bowl.
eat, and the
then
other one
bowl?
is no, B-U-L-L,
B-U-L-L.
like the
A bowl.
like a bull, like a male cow. So it's like a nice bar restaurant, but it also
you ride a
has
bull?
it also has mini duck pin bowling. It even has a mechanical bowl. So
you
it's
could
like
really
you can
get to know
go and
someone.
just have drinks,
Yeah.
or you could also
Yeah.
do these activities, and that kind of takes the pressure off of. Oh,
What are
we
we
have
gonna
to have this
do?
intense
Yeah,
conversation,
yeah,
interview.
yeah.
You know, you and
Yeah.
I might be comfortable with that. I'm sure you're
Yeah.
very
Oh,
comfortable
I
with
can
that.
talk to anybody.
But most people aren't, right?
Yeah.
And that's okay to kind of take a little longer to open up. So
Yeah.
to have an activity option can be
Oh,
really
I'll
nice.
open them up. They'll
You
be
might
talking
not
in no
have-
time.
Not everyone is as good at interviewing as you
Yeah,
either.
yeah.
Even Cidercade is really fun.
I
That's
like
an
that
arcade
place. Yes.
Yeah, but that can be quite loud.
Yeah, that's true.
So you can think outside the box
Yeah.
a little bit as well.
Yeah. Let's see, we're gonna get wrapping up here at 8:55.
But yeah, those are just Austin options as far as long as it's public and a little bit quiet.
How often do they, like once you give them on the first date, do you set up the second date, or once you,
No, we don't.
once they do the first
yeah.
date, you let them decide everything?
Exactly. So they'll come back, they'll both fill out a feedback form that says, this is what I liked, this is what I didn't like, and do I want to see them again, yes
Yeah,
or no?
yeah.
And do I want to exchange contact info with them?
Oh,
And that's kind
yeah,
of,
because they haven't,
yeah.
unless they do it on the
They
date.
can,
Yeah.
but it's kind of nice to not do it on the date, because if you ask a woman for her number, she could just be being nice
Polite,
and not wanting
yeah.
to be
And then
awkward
ghost,
and reject
yeah,
you to
yeah,
your face. So
yeah.
you don't know, is she really interested?
right.
But in this case, you know for sure
Yeah.
if she wants to go out with you again
Yeah.
or talk to you on the phone again, because
Yeah.
she can easily just say no,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah.
So that's kind of nice. And like I said, finding out the
Because then you're the bad
feedback.
guy.
Yeah,
The
we get to
talkative-
be the
yeah.
bad guy.
Oh, well, I didn't.
And
yeah.
finding out the feedback so that you can learn and grow. Oh, she
For the
thought
next date,
she
if-
thought I ate like a pig. Okay, maybe I should work on my
Slow
etiquette.
down.
You know, things
Yeah.
like that. So that's definitely helpful.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha. What else about Talkify can we talk about? So you do the matchmaking. I'm very interested in talking more about that off air. We're about to run out, but the end of the date. Do you guys, what's the etiquette?
Yeah. Be more specific there, if you could.
Well, I'm trying to see what. How long? Just
We're
say
getting
it.
signals.
20 seconds.
Okay, 20 seconds. Okay. Well, let's give out your email one more time.
Okay, eliza.miller@talkify.com. Eliza with an E, Talkify with a W, and www.talkify.com.
Awesome. Well, we're about to end. Thank you for coming out here. We'll
Thank
continue
you.
to
This
talk.
was so fun.
Man, so many questions.